Hello and welcome back to Ason Tech Hub web development series. In our previous video, we looked at how to install and set up live server in Visual Studio Code. In this episode, we are going to be looking at HTML very basic. That is the very basic of HTML. I will walk you through on how to create the first web page using HTML, and we will go through it step by step. So let's it. So previously we have learned how to create a file. So I have a folder open up in my Visual Studio Code here. So the first thing to do is to click on the file icon option and type the name of the file. So I'm going to call this file 01basic.html. So after typing the name for the document, I'll hit the enter button to create the HTML file. So now, to get the HTML fundamental tags, all you need to do is to hold your shift key and press 1 to get the exclamation mark. Once you get the exclamation mark, press the tab key, the tab button on your keyboard. So press it and it will generate the HTML fundamental tags for you. So this is the HTML very basic tags. So this contains everything you need to know about the HTML fundamental tags. So the first one we have here is the doc type. The doc type. The doc type literally tells the browser that you are using HTML5 because there are different versions of HTML. So that is just its own work and is essential. So the next one we have here is the HTML tag itself. And HTML tag itself is what is going to wrap everything on the web page. So it's where you will write your code. All your code is going to be in between these HTML tags. One thing you must know about HTML is that it has an opening tag and a closing tag. So this is an example of an opening tag. So like here, it open with a left angle and the right angle. So in between it, you have the name of the tag, which is HTML. So this one we are having here as lang equals to quotation en is nothing but the language. So it's like when you are designing a site and you want to set the language for your site. If it's an English site, like what display on it is English or maybe French or Arabic. So you define your language here. Okay, it's also important, but not compulsory, but it's essential. So if I'm if I'm developing a site that will be displaying French on the page, I will change this place to FN. So if I'm writing for Arab, for instance, I'll change this place to AR. So that is what that means. So this EN will leave it because we want our site to display in English. And so this is the HTML tag. This is how a opening tag look like. So, and as you can see, it's going to wrap up everything on this web page. So it will be the last tag to be closed. That is why we have it down here, last. So a closing tag look like this. A closing tag is also wrapped up in a left angle and the right angle, but with a forward slash in it. Like as you see here, you see after left angle we have a forward slash before the HTML. So this is the closing tag for that HTML. If I click on it, you can see that it highlights this and also the first one. So that is it. The next tag you need to know that is fundamental in HTML is the head tag. This is the head tag. The head tag is used in wrapping up the style and the meta tags and the metadata of your web page. Like here we have for the default generated here, you can see we have the meta sachet UTF-8, and we have the meta the other meta which is for responsiveness. So these are the two important meta tags, but for SEO and other stuff like that, you can use more meta tags to explain more about the site, what you want to show if the site is being searched for. So let's explain the first meta tag, that is the sachet UTF-8, this one right here. So what does it do? It sets a character encoding for your web page to UTF-8. So UTF-8 is a standard way to represent text that include almost all letters, symbols, and emojis. So why is it important? It's important because it ensures proper character encoding and prevents word characters display. Okay, so it's very important to use. It's very important. It has to be on your site. It's one of the important meta tags you need. So let's talk about the second meta tags that has some attribute of name content in it. So the second meta tag, its purpose is to set up the viewpoint for your web page. So the width equal device width means the width should match the width of a phone, laptop, or other device. That is why you see that if you design a site on desktop, it will look okay, and also on mobile, it look okay. What control it is this particular meta we are seeing here. So like we have the initial scales to be set equal to 1.0. So what does it do? It set the initial zoom level when the page first load. So why is this thing important? It's important because it helps you to guarantee your because it guarantees that your website is mobile friendly and responsive. So without this, the browser might render your page zoomed out or incorrectly sized on small devices like phone. So it's also important, and it's another fundamental tags in HTML. So let's talk about the next one, which is the title tags. As you can see, all tags open and close. And using Visual Studio Code, once you open a tag, it's going to help you to close the tag automatically. So you have nothing to worry about. So for the title tags, it displays the title of your site. Okay, I will show you that very quickly. So this title tag, what it does is that it shows like it's just like a label of the tag. So for instance, now if you go to your portal, you will see something like school portal home. So that thing you are seeing on that thing that you are seeing at the title of the site is the title bar. And this is how you can use it. This is how you can embed the title into your website. It's also fundamental and key because you cannot just be viewing your page without a title. So by the default generated one here, we have something like document. So I can change this into something like my first web. So if we open this site, what we are going to say as our title will be my first web. So now the head tag open and you say that the head tag close. So the other thing we can embed in this, wrap up in this head tag is the external style and some stuffs like that. So we can also add an external style link to this head. When we go into CSS, I will show you how that works. And the same way we can write a style. If you are writing like an external style, internal style, you can also write it inside this head tag. So when we get to CSS, we'll get to see all that. So that is for the head tags, and that's its purpose. So let's talk about the body tag. The body tag is where you are going to write all the code that will display on your site. Just like, something like the headings, the paragraphs, the images, the videos, the buttons, everything at all that will display on the main web page, the body of the page, has to be wrapped up inside the body tags. So here is the body tags. So like now, if I'm to start the development, I have to start from the body tag. I'll bring my mouse here. Let me see, I do something like welcome. Something like this. But this is not a proper way of writing the code in HTML. But HTML does not it does not restrict you. It will still work if you open this site. It's going to show on the body welcome. But it has to be in something like a heading tag or the paragraph tag. So I just want to show you how this looks like. So that is just the simple introduction to the very basic of HTML. In the next video, we are going to be looking at all the tags, like the heading tags and the paragraph tags. So now we have successfully created a HTML file. Next thing to do is to open up this HTML file in our browser. Remember, in our last video, we installed Live Server, and the purpose of Live Server is to ensure that your site refresh instantly without you clicking on the refresh button on the browser. So let's open this file with the Live Server extension. So to open your HTML file with Live Server extension, right click anywhere on the page and select Open with Live Server. First time we are doing this, so it's going to pop up the firewall message. So we're going to leave it to private network only, that is more protected, and click on Allowed. The web has opened in the browser. This is my default browser. So it will open in your default browser. So if Chrome is your default browser, it will definitely open in Chrome. But I'm using Microsoft Edge as my default browser. So it has opened up in my Microsoft Edge. As you can see here, let me take you to the tab first. On the tab here, you can see the title. You know, we changed the title to my first web, so it's now displaying it as my first web. So that is the function of the title there. So every other thing you see there, you see they are not displaying here because they are tags. So the other thing that will display now is what? The welcome that we type in the body there. So anything that comes into the body tag is what will display on your site. Even if you're going to write 7,000 lines of code for this page, for the page, they will all be wrapped inside that body tag. That is the right thing to do. And they are that is the section that is going to be displaying on your web page. So this is how it works. So I talk about open with live server. If you open with live server, you see that your live server, this is how the URL will look like with an IP address / the file of the name of the file. So this is how the URL will display. So you can see the welcome. If we made the changes, it will reflect instantly. So back to our IDE. So we're going to change this welcome to Aston Tech Hub. Save it using this Control S or the save option from the file there. Then go back to the browser and see. You don't need to refresh. Instantly the changes effected on your on the site. So this is how it works. So in the next video, we're going to be looking at the heading tags and the paragraph tags in HTML. See you in the next video.